Hello and you're welcome to today's video. My name is Oluchi Oguni. So today I want to share, what is a testimony, and I believe, something that we can all learn from. Some years back, I was staying with some family members with my children. My husband was out of town, so I was staying, with these very close family members, and I was built to attend a conference in another state. So I decided that okay, it was going to be a 3-day conference, so have been away for like 5 days or so. And I said, okay, I'll leave, the children with these family members because we were really close, and I believe they were helping to take care of the children. I had booked my flight and everything, but like 4 days to when I was supposed to leave, I started feeling a bit funny, a little awkward, a little, uneasy about the journey. Now I was just thinking it was just the usual. Okay, am I sure? I would like to keep an eye on the children, and all of that. But the feeling kept on growing and growing, and I was like, is God actually trying to tell me something? And up until the day before, I still wasn't sure, but I still felt that nudge. I still, was led in a certain direction, and I just, and even the day before, I actually read something somewhere, and it was like, no matter how far you've gone in any decision you want to make, just know that you can always still turn back. And as I just read it, I was like, okay, so if God is trying to tell me to stay, then I can stay. Like, I haven't left, so I can actually still stay. So I just made the very difficult decision, to the morning of the day I was to travel. I made a very difficult decision to cancel my flight. I told my family members I wasn't going to be traveling anymore. It was super awkward, believe me, because I didn't have any particular reason to give them, but hey, I just told them I wasn't going anymore, and I stayed back. Now the next day, I think it was either the day I was supposed to travel or the next day, in the evening, I noticed my son, my youngest son. It was just in the evening and we were playing around, but then I kind of thought that he looked like he was breathing fast, but I was wondering whether I was just imagining it, because he's never had an episode of fast breathing. None of my children, okay, except my my eldest son, who was, as a child, was ill. But I mean, this last one has never had any episode of fast breathing. So I thought it was, I thought I was imagining it, because he has never had any episode of fast breathing. But when we went to bed, he was lying down, and I was looking at him, and I was like, this boy appears to be in respiratory distress. Like, what is actually going on? And I said it in my heart, but then my daughter just looked at him too. She's a bit older, and then she was like, Mama, I think he's breathing fast. And I was like, exactly, he is, and at that point, I actually counted respiratory rate. I actually listened to his chest, and I realized this young man was wheezing. Like, he was literally having like a very severe attack, what looked like an asthmatic attack. And that was like 9:10 p.m. But I just gathered my bags. I just told my family members we're going to the hospital right now, and everybody was just wondering, like, what's happening now? Is the boy sick? And I said, this boy is sick. This boy he's breathing very fast. We need to go to the hospital immediately. And that was how we packed up our bags. We went to the ER, to the emergency room. And when he was seen, he was actually noticed that he wasn't actually in like real respiratory distress. He had to be given IV antibiotics. He had to be nebulized. Because they were thinking it was like an asthmatic attack. He had never been diagnosed with asthma before. They were thinking that maybe it was a new onset asthma, and we had to be in the hospital for about 3 to 4 days before we were finally discharged from the hospital. Now it was like it was a very teachable moment for me, and a very humbling moment for me, because I was like, what if I wasn't really around, to notice this? Part of why I noticed it was because we were lying down on the same bed while he was falling asleep, and maybe because of my, previous medical background and training, so I was able to just pick up that this isn't his usual way of breathing and all that. So I'm wondering, what if nobody was actually keeping such a close eye on him. Maybe they just sent them to bed and all of that. Maybe they would have woken up in the morning, maybe nobody might have picked it up, or he might have been in very, very worse very, very bad in a very, very bad medical state before it might have been picked up. I never you never really know. Maybe they would have picked up early, but I just felt that this was probably why God wanted me to be there at the time, to be able to notice it and to be able to take action. And I believe that this particular act, of just obeying God and deciding to stay back, changed a lot. I don't know what might have happened if I wasn't around. So just to encourage you, and it was a teachable moment for me, like I said, to always just obey the leading of the Holy Spirit. And no matter what happens, I should feel free to change my mind, especially when I feel I'm not heading in the right direction. And to everyone watching, sometimes we want to go ahead with a decision simply because we're kind of worried about what people will say, or simply because it will look awkward if we change our minds. I want to tell you that you should feel free to change your mind at any point in time, especially if you feel that the Holy Spirit is not leading you in that direction. Please always take counsel from the Holy Spirit and do what He says. So thank you for listening in, and thank you for staying till the end of the video. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.